All right, I just finished replacing the final three capacitors in my ignition module, and I'd done the other three a couple weeks ago. I did talk about that in a previous video. I just happen to have some laying around from another ignition module I'd done a couple years ago. But so it's not difficult. There's four screws. Lifts this off, and there's two screws here. These hold the circuit board down, and then there's two screws, one here and one here, that hold the heat sinks together, and that holds the board in place. So it's pretty simple. Last time I was in here, I replaced this rubber hose. There goes the vacuum. Here are three of the capacitors. I just replaced this one today, and these two right there, because I didn't have anything to go by. So it's pretty simple. If you have any soldering skills at all, you should be able to do this without a problem. My method with my somewhat limited soldering station now is I just heat one leg of the capacitor, like say on this one here, I heat the furthest leg of the capacitor till it melts, and I just rock that, and that just pulls that wire out. And then I heat the other leg, and then I just pull it straight out, and that leaves the solder in the solder joint. So I dab a little more solder just to give it some mass, and I use the old solder extractor to suck that out. Put the new one in. Now these are polarized, meaning that they have a positive and a negative. Now this board and most boards will mark on the board which side is positive and which side is negative. You can see that stripe on the capacitor has a negative mark on it, and that's the negative side. Here's some new ones. You can see that shows you which side is negative, and obviously the other side is positive. The negative leg is shorter than the positive one, so you definitely want to get that right. They will function in put in backwards. They will function, but they will destroy themselves rather quickly, and you'll be right back doing this again. But yeah, this didn't take long. It's not difficult. If you have a 30-year-old ignition module, I assure you your capacitors are not working properly because they're just too old. They go bad with age. It's like oil, just because you're not using it doesn't mean it's going bad. Now these don't look bad. I couldn't see anything wrong with them. I'm sure if I dug up my meter, I could test the resistance and prove that they were bad. But I don't care. They're cheap. And I have an example here. I don't know what this came out of. It's just sitting on my bench, but this is an idea what a bad cap does. Is it expands, it just pushes out. So if you see a cap like that, you know it's bad. If there's fluid leaking out of it, you know it's bad. One of my caps, and my bike wasn't running before. With the first three caps I replaced, got my bike running, but it still has this weird backfiring problem. But there was a slight little defect down here at the bottom. I couldn't tell what it was. It looked like it could just be corrosion, but there shouldn't be any corrosion. But that's kind of what it looked like. And replacing those three capacitors got it running. And then I finally got these in a week or so ago, right before I left town. I got these from Mauser. You can order as many or as few as you like. I mean, sometimes you can't. You have to buy in 1,000 for a particular product. Like there might be a capacitor that they only sell in bulk, but they also almost always have them in anything you need in individuals. So I'm going to put this back together, plug it in, cross my fingers, and hope that it starts. I expect it to. Hopefully, after I get it all back together today, we'll go see if this solves my backfiring while decelerating problem.